everyone, today I want to take a look at some of the toy books created in the Victorian period for children. These were commissioned by Routledge and Sons. Here we see the publisher at the bottom. The engraver Edmund Evans hired Walter Crane and Caldecott to illustrate children's fairy tales, make these little toy books that were beautifully illustrated, and they would be selling for maybe 6 shillings. And this would be the equivalent of maybe $10 to $20 today. It was affordable, but also beautiful, and a lot of people started collecting these. So today we're going to take a look at a few and just kind of admire them for their beautiful illustrations. So here we have Beauty and the Beast. Here the Beast is a lot more beastly than the Disney version, that's for sure. Now, Walter Crane said several times that he was inspired by Japanese prints. You can see this in the way he outlines a lot of his drawings. They appear to be a little bit more flat, and you have the black ink kind of outlining the flat illustrations. But at the same time, it's a very powerful thing to have such illustrations for children in the Victorian period, because there wouldn't have been as much material for children, and it really sparked something in the imagination when you don't have, cartoons or the things you have today. So this spread over here is probably one of the more popular ones, and what's interesting about it is not only the depiction of, Beauty and the Beast, but also the design and layout of the room, which would give us some insight into the sort of wealthy upper class and will be considered kind of stylish at the time. You have your Greek references here, and mythology and musical instruments. It's really nice to spend some time with each individual print. I think in this one you can see the Japanese influence even more so, especially in the clothing and the textile. So here we have the alphabet of old friends, and you have illustrations of things that children would recognize. And each one is accompanied by a poem. Each stanza kind of begins with a specific letter and then carries on. I really like this page because it has all of the zodiac signs on the margins. Here you have Aquarius and Sagittarius, Gemini. So here we have The House That Jack Built, and this is printed or published by Ward, Lock and Tyler. So here we have The House That Jack Built. This is the cat that killed the rat that ate them all, that lay in the house that Jack built. So in the case of this book, we can see that it was printed in color by Edmund Evans, and it's still part of the same series. And it maintains the same format that the Walter Crane book had, and this one is going for 1 shilling. I think what I really like about this one too is that you can see on the margins here that it was sewn very delicately. Now we're going to look at the children's musical Cinderella. The illustrations are still done by Walter Crane, and this has colored illustrations as before, but now it also has music printed for children. And we have the combination of the two back here. Randolph Caldecott, a little bit different from Walter Crane, is that in addition to all of the little books for children, he would kind of illustrate things that also had to do with society at large, and he would depict scenes of everyday life. So here, for example, we have kind kind of depictions of a Victorian woman, and you see Caldecott's signature here, or at least knowing that he participated. And here we kind of get all of these really simple scenes of everyday life, and you get to see little outfits and dresses. Now, before we take a look at more 1 shilling kind of books, I want to show you these 2 books. So eventually people started to combine all of these 1 shilling books and create larger books with more in them than just the thin ones with hard covers, well bound. And this is, for example, one for Walter Crane and one for Caldecott. So when you flip through it, you'll find several of the books that we looked at before in the same style, as if someone just bought them all and just rebound them together, so they have them all in one place. So example, this one tells us of all of the different works inside. So let's just skip over to the fairy ship. Ship with many fantastical creatures and animals. This is absolute nonsense and I love it. Look at the duck captain. I think this might be my favorite one. Let's take a look at a few more. So this is the Yellow Dwarf. Again, this is a Walter Crane. Of course, 2 giant turkeys. Each one of the Walter Cranes tends to have a giant spread in the middle, and this one is usually the most elaborate. So when you have things like toy books, a lot of them were also just trying to introduce children to the world, or to even domestic things, very similar to the way we have, little toys like the cow says moo and so on. So in this case, we have depictions of farm animals. So you have the donkey, the dog, the horse, the cow and the sheep, and so on. And these are sort of realistic, and then you have a passage about the animal and a little description. And some of them would follow only one character, in which case you have here Hector the dog, and you have this journey on Christmas Eve. I really like this illustration around the hearth. This is the last one I'm gonna show in this video at least, and maybe some other time in a future video we can look through more if you'd like. Do let me know. But this one's called Pictures of English History, from House Victory to the Marriage to the Prince of Wales. Again, this is the same publisher. The Battle of Waterloo. This is a depiction of the kings and queens of England. And it goes all the way to Queen Victoria, which would have been a contemporary at the time. Took the crown in 1837.